Then I can start.
Wave. Give me a wave, didn't you?
I won't wave back because that will be captured on camera, won't it? Because that's my luck. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Resources Board tonight on the 21st of September. Welcome to those in the chamber, to those online, and to those viewing on YouTube. I'm sure it will get lots of hits this evening. First on the agenda is our evacuation procedure, so I'll just read that out to you. There is a location plan of the exits and the assembly points situated on the doors of this room. Please familiarise yourself. On discovering a fire, please carry out the following: sound the alarm, attack fire if possible and safe to do so using the appliance provided. On hearing the evacuate signal, please carry out the following: exit the building by your nearest exit and safest exit. All visitors report to assembly point G. All staff report to their designated assembly point on Woolpack Way car park. And please do not leave the assembly point for any reason until told to do so by the incident controller or the fire brigade officer. Thank you. That's agenda item 1. Agenda item 2. Apologies for absence.
Thank you, Chair. We have apologies from Councillor Deeping, substitutes Councillor Hayden Phillips. Apologies from Councillor Anthony Cruz, and substitutes to Councillor Jarvis. We have apologies from Councillor Simpson.
Thank you. Welcome to those substitutes. Nice to see you. Item 3, disclosable of pecuniary and non-pecuniary interests. No? Okay. Minutes of the previous board meeting on 14th of June.
Move them.
Thank you. I'll have a Councillor Mawson has moved the minutes. Do I have a second?
Yes, I'll second.
Thank you, Councillor Humphreys. I can sign those afterwards. Thank you. All in favour? Thank you. That's unanimous. We move on to the public participation. The gallery is clearly nice and empty, so we'll move on from that. Agenda item 6. Moving on to Brendan Football Club and Boot Hill Recreation Ground. So the recommendation this evening to us is that we that the request from Brendan Football Club to enter into a tenancy at will in respect of its use of Boot Hill Recreation Ground, Brendan, be approved. Do I have any questions on that? Councillor Davey.
Are the community involved in using the facilities for functions and events and banks and parks, or is it just predominantly the group that have got the tenancy at will?
Through you, Chair, if I can take that. The principal use of Boot Hill Recreation Ground has been, in the past, has been for formal sport, which you'll appreciate. And clearly that's the intention through the tenancy at will, but there will continue to be informal access to the recreation ground. You know, if parents want to go on with their children and just have a play or whatever it is, then there's provision for that within the draft agreement, and the football club is aware of that.
Thank you. If there are there any other questions?
No, I'll move it.
Thank you, Councillor Mawson. Do I have a second? Councillor Clues, all in favour? That's unanimous. Thank you. Moving on to agenda item 7, the domestic abuse Warwickshire Safety Accommodation Strategy. Recommendation to our board this evening that the draft strategy be considered, that it be approved, and that the option to pull the grant funding provided by government be supported. Just like to take this opportunity to say that I thought it was a really good report. I think that there's a very thorough analysis of needs and the accommodation and routes to finding support for people in that situation. So I will Councillor Dervick.
Thank you. Firstly, I'd like to say that I agree with you entirely. I will be supporting this, but I've got a couple of questions that are not really that important, but would be of interest to me.
Okay.
The first one of those is on page 30, which is page 15 of the strategy. It states that Nuneaton and Bedworth was the highest rate of offences, 13.29 per 1,000 people, compared to the other 4 district boroughs, while Stratford-on-Avon has the lowest rate, 7.36 per 1,000 people. And I think it would be useful and interesting for us to know exactly where North Warwickshire lies between those 2 figures. The work has obviously been done, but isn't needed in this report. But I think it would be interesting for councillors to know just where we are and how much work we've got to do on that.
We have Angela Coates with us online, so I wonder if she has any information she could share.
I
And if
would
not,
anticipate that this will have to be answered
yeah, come back at a later
after the
date.
meeting. I'm not expecting an answer immediately
Thank
on
you.
that one. And then the next thing is a matter of detail, really. And it's me being pedantic, I'm afraid, and it's on page 52, which is 29 of the report. And about halfway down, it says, or a third of the way down, it says provision of specialist support to address specific needs. This includes, but is not limited to. The second one down on that list reads victim survivors of honour-based violence, faith-based abuse, forced marriage, female genital mutilation, and/or modern-day slavery. And then if we go down to the penultimate one on that list, it again says victim survivors who have experienced honour-based violence, faith-based abuse, modern-day slavery, and then it does change to exploitation and harmful practices. And I think as this is a draft, it would be worth drawing attention to that, because I think it can be put in a better way, either by
Yes, okay.
combining or subtracting something. Yeah, it's a message that I think we can pass on in a friendly way.
There's clearly some duplication.
Yeah.
But there's with the intent that actually that's probably a different point.
It may be, but it's yeah.
We can give that.
If they can give it consideration.
Yes. And I'll ask Angela to come back on us about those North Warwickshire specific statistics are listed, see if we can share that to the resources.
The work's obviously been done by somebody, and it's not appropriate for this, but it is appropriate for us, I think.
Yeah, it would be good to know. Councillor Clues, then Councillor Jarvis.
Thank you, Chair. Page 7/5, 5.1 is that the council has a consistent commitment to staff training with regard to domestic abuse over many years. Training will be delivered to support understanding of the requirements of the Domestic Abuse Act. Can I just ask, is this training done every year for any new staff that come in? You know, like our housing staff, frontline staff when they first phone in. If we could just have an answer. Maybe not tonight.
I'll hand over. I'll see if Angela Coates can answer that. That's about training. You said about housing.
Hello, Chair. Sorry, my reception's not very good tonight. Can you hear me?
Yes, very well. Maybe you can't hear us.
She's muted anyway.
We do pick up on domestic abuse training pretty promptly as part of induction. So obviously we have work that we do with the county council, but if that's not available, then we can pick up training through shelter. So it is something that we're very keen on and very proactive about.
Thank you, Angela. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Good job.
It's probably an understanding taint, and as Councillor Dervix has said, just being a little bit pedantic on words. It mentions several times women and girls. It doesn't mention anything about men and boys. Men and boys do come into the abuse side, and maybe could we just be that tad more inclusive?
Thank you for that. Yes, there are. I mean, domestic abuse isn't solely women and girls. Obviously, the report alludes to a lot of children being affected as well. There are a portion of men who are affected. So we can ask whether or not that's part of that strategy. I'm sure that it probably is, but it probably isn't as explicit
It
given the
does arise
proportions
elsewhere in
and
the
the
report.
numbers. But yeah, as you say, comments, but perhaps it's not as explicit as you perhaps like. Thank you. Councillor Humphries?
I was just going to add to that. I can't find it in here now, but it says something like 15,300 women and girls, and also 7,900 men and boys. So it's a bigger problem than that. And we've all seen it on the TV, etc. Can't imagine many men, but it would be hard for some men to come forward and tell them that it's happened.
On page 38.
38. I was looking at 38, but I was trying to speed read it and missed it.
Yeah.
So, but I do think, as Councillor Jarvis has said, it's something I think we need to actually indicate that it goes both ways.
Absolutely, and I think that, as we said, the report comments on that. And one of the things that, you know, some of this work will lead to is taking away that stigma for that group to report and for their concerns to be taken seriously. So if there are any other questions on that, I'll move that from the chair.
I'll second that.
Thank you, Councillor Jervis. All in favour? Unanimous, thank you. Move on to agenda item 8, which is the capital programme for the period ending the 31st of July. Tonight our recommendation is to approve the variance set out in paragraph 4.1.2 and to recommend that the Executive Board approve the additional capital allocation set out in that paragraph as well. Questions?
But that's,
Councillor Davies?
at 5.5, the fixed cutting unit is a grass cutting unit, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, it's nothing to do with cutting trees or any other thing. It is to do with grass cutting, isn't it?
5.5.
It's on page 70, which is page 8 of the page 4 of the report.
Yes, I would assume so. I don't absolutely know, but Sue is nodding at me, so I'm assuming that we are correct in assuming it is grass cutting and not hairdressing, as we
Some of us don't need it.
Some of us desperate for it. Right, so if everyone's happy with that and there aren't any questions, I'll move that from the chair. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Councillor Davey. And all in favour? Thank you. Moving on to agenda item 9, which is the general fund budget control report for the period again ending the 31st of July. This recommendation to our board is that the report be noted that the board requests any further information it would feel it needed to assist in monitoring the budgets under the board's control. So are there any questions, any further comments on this report?
Just to say that everybody's agreed to it, I'll move it.
Fantastic. Do you want a second?
Second, yeah.
Councillor Moss, all in favour? That's unanimous, thank you. Moving on to agenda item 10. This is the housing revenue account. Budgetary control reports again for the same period. Again, to consider if any further information is required. Any questions on this report? Councillor Davies.
Thank you. On page 84, 3.5, it says that rental income is currently lower than expected as the new build properties at Hatters Close in 1 are expected to be signed over to the council in February of March 2021 have only just taken place. 16 properties in July and 4 properties expected in August. Do we know whether those have been handed over and how far down the road they are to getting let? Where they had over at the beginning of August, so they kind of been there, or have they only just been handed over, or are we still waiting?
It's clearly a timing issue. Maybe Angela or Sue can help.
Yes, Chair. Yes, we have them all handed over now and all let. Happy tenants in lovely new homes. the problem that we had was the access to the estate, and the road needed to be in a particular way for safety. And the delay was around getting that sorted out with the county council. So as soon as that was done, the properties were handed over and are all let now, so that the estate is settling down now.
Really good news. Yeah.
It is, it's brilliant news to know that we've got new tenants and new properties. Councillor Humphries.
I was just looking at the housing revenue account, and I'm taking the amended budget for 21-22, where we've got a total expenditure of 15.2 million, and we're going to end up with a total income of 12.16, and there's a 3 million discrepancy there. Are we going to be able to? I don't know how the numbers work and whether you're going to fill that gap, but I would be panicking if it was my money.
Party too soon.
Chair, I'm not panicking because we planned to do that.
Okay.
And it's a one-off. It certainly won't be repeated in the following year. But it was a one-off thing that we did plan for, so I'm not panicking.
Okay.
Just yet.
Right, thank you.
Thank you for that, Sue. So are there any other questions on the housing?
Well,
revenue?
she can imagine that sort of thing. She can come and sort my account out.
Thank you. I'm sure we'd all like that. Thank you, Councillor Mawson. That's been moved by Councillor Mawson. Do I have a second? Councillor Jarvis. All in favour? That's unanimous. Thank you very much. That completes our meeting this evening. I am on track with the record.
20 questions.
Councillor Wright will be